How you like that? Count the green, 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 count the green. On its 50s, on its 50s, on its 50s. Super fun. Angie Boo in the building. Good morning. I just seen your message. Yeah, we've been trying to throw some truth out there a little bit, you know? I'm always trying to throw some truth out there, but I was trying to throw some truth out there today. Count the green, count the green, count the green, count the green. Hundreds, 50s, hundreds, 50s, hundreds, 50s. Oh yeah, you already know. Can't stop, won't stop. Jen, welcome in. Welcome in. If y'all can, please, let's tap that screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Good morning, Jen. Good morning. Good morning, my brother. I see you in the building. I love that. I love that. We in here. Welcome in, Hustle MED. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's go. Let's get these likes up. Let's get these shares up. We can share up to 15 people. Remember, guys, share up to 15 people. Share as many people as possible. We're doing a part 2 to last week's live. I did not forget about posting clips. I got the clips for you guys. I just have to run through to see which one is the most valuable clip to put up. But we here. We are here. Last week's conversation was what really sets off your chaos. That was the start of the conversation. And we left off not being able to finish because it's a deep conversation to have. It's a deep conversation to have. It's a lot of information to really throw out there. So we didn't get to finish off the live. So we're going to continue this conversation on what really sets off your chaos. So let's keep tapping that screen. Let's keep sharing out the live. Let's get as many people in here as possible. Share it to your story if you can. If it allows you. Sometimes TikTok does and it doesn't. Lately, it hasn't been doing it for me, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? But I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Actually, let me do this. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Actually, let me do this. Only doing hundreds, 50s, hundreds, 50s. I think so far with this series of chaos that we've been diving into, I think it's been really good conversation. I think it's been a dope conversation. Hey, Lala, I see you. I think it's been a really good conversation. If you guys haven't been able to be in the lives during this this series of chaos, having the conversation of chaos, you guys are missing out, man. You guys are missing out. What's going on? Good morning. You guys are missing out. Good morning, Mika. I see you. You guys are coach. What's going on? Happy Saturday. Yeah, you guys missing out, man. We've had some really good conversation in regards to the conversation of chaos. A lot of good knowledge, a lot of good information, great feedback. I know when we have conversations of buzzwords, right? Good morning. When we have conversations of buzzwords like narcissists and triggers and chaos and, you know, these buzzwords that we hear on social media and on TikTok, we never really have a live where people actually dive into like the origins of it or where it stems from or what causes it, you know, why do people stay in it for so long, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we never really get that aspect of it People just like to use it to create wealth on TikTok instead of giving solutions and giving actual knowledge behind it. So we've done this once before with the narcissist, understanding a narcissist, and we got a lot of backlash for that. We got me and Hormiga got a lot of backlash for that, but we didn't really care about the backlash. We wanted to bring you guys knowledge and understanding of just how a narcissist formulates, how somebody becomes a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Not the actual trait itself, but just the mindset and the actions behind it. And we did that, and I thought it was dope. And I did a lot of research for that, and we had a couple of videos that we watched and all that stuff. So I thought it was a good. I thought bringing something in regards to this buzzword, right? Chaos, right? We hear it all the time. People are chaotic. They live in the chaotic mindset. They choose chaos. We hear all these things, and we left off last week asking everybody what sets off your chaos. So while we have people here, Ivan, I see you. Thank you for coming in. Pon, thank you for the rose. What sets off your chaos? If you can ask yourself and answer that as truthfully as possible, because we all have chaos within us, right? Nobody's excluded from chaos. So what sets off your chaos? When you hear that question, like, give it a good thought while you're here. Or just on your overall, like, when you're just on your everyday, just ask yourself that question. What sets off your chaos? Because chaos can be both good and bad. So depending on where your circumstances lie, answer that question truthfully. Ivan, thank you for the hand heart. I appreciate you. So ask yourself that question. What sets off your chaos? Because I think that's a really good question to ask. Not regulating my empathy. Oh, that's powerful. That's powerful. What made you think of that? What made you think of that? Give me a little bit more to that, Lala. Because that's really powerful. That's really powerful. Not regulating my empathy. That's interesting. I got you, bro. Ooh, I don't like that. Hold on. How do I fix this? I don't know how to fix this. Hold on 1 second, bro. Oh. There we go. Putting myself in places that I know I've grown from. Okay. Oh, no worries. You're good, Chris. You're good, Chris. Putting myself in places that I know I've grown from. Okay. So, liars that hide behind a mask to please people. Lie. Okay. Okay. All right. Y'all giving some good ones. Good morning, brother. How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling great. Just over here listening to you doing your thing.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Ivan, I got you. Stick around, Ivan.
But I will tell you this real quick. What this conversation sets off my chaos.
I knew you was gonna say that.
It is because it's not a matter of. See, we have to be very careful. Sometimes the one time that we're avoiding certain chaos is because we're not able to function in it yet.
Okay.
So avoiding chaos is only a temporary situation until you are able to function in your chaos.
Fair.
Because how else are you going to be able to know if you move forward if you can't function in something that you've never been able to function in?
Fair.
So I'll leave you with that. Continue, please. Thank you.
No, but we've dived into that before, right? I think we dived into that a little bit. Especially understanding that most people will try to avoid chaos at all cost. And unfortunately, when you try to avoid chaos, then you're not going to be able to know how to function within it if you avoid it too many times, if you try to avoid it all the time. Good morning, Lomax. I appreciate you for coming in. You know what I'm saying? So I always say there's a balance to this, right? We have to have a balance between the chaos and the positivity so that way we can understand it. You know what I'm saying? Try not to avoid it too many times because there is a lesson. There's lessons within the chaos, right? There's experience that's needed. There's lessons that's within the chaos that's needed. So that way you can formulate that wisdom, that you need to be better, right? Wisdom comes from all aspects of life. It doesn't only come from positivity. It comes from the negativity. It comes from all aspects, right? But if you choose to avoid it, then you're missing out on a piece that might help you grow, that might help you elevate, that might help you be better. Stop me when I'm lying.
That's a great point. That's a great point. We have to understand that we can't just keep looking
What's
for
going on,
pretty
Chef?
things. We can't keep just looking for easy things, right?
Right.
Because if we only focus on the easy and the beautiful and we don't focus on the bad and the
Thank you
ugly,
for the rose.
then we're only training ourselves to deal with things that one we know how to do, one we are comfortable with, and that's not a good sign that you are willing to move forward. Let me give you an idea what that looks like.
Yeah.
We all have people that poke us. We all have people that test us, especially when we go around running around saying, "Hey everybody, I'm healed. Hey
Mm-hmm.
everybody, I'm better. Hey everybody, I'm elevated." And what do people do? They try you right away. Let's see if this person is who they say they are, and they're testing you. And we get mad when they push our buttons. They be like, "Everything was fine until you pushed me a certain direction." No, everything was fine until you said who you wasn't yet, and they tested you and you didn't like it. You
Fact.
could use these tests to help you determine if you're ready, because most of these things that we have a problem with is our belief system. So until we start recognizing our own belief system, our own indoctrinations, our own generational curses, our own parental mishaps, then we're really not ready to say those things. So stop going around looking for it, because you're out there actually taunting people, and when they taunt you, you don't like it.
Fair enough. You gonna have your camera on today or no?
For the first part of it, I will not have my camera, but I will soon.
Okay. All right. Cool. Hey, Cha, welcome in. No, that's fair though. That's fair though. I think you. The thing is, right? A lot of people are not prepared to deal with what comes with certain aspects, right? With certain things that they're quote unquote looking for. They're looking for it, but they don't realize that there is a piece of everything that we deal with that we are not prepared for, which is the unknown, right? We don't people are so afraid of the unknown, so when it actually happens, they don't know how to operate. Trying to deal with the unknown is more so trying to eliminate the fear factor, right? Don't use the fear factor as something that scares you. Use the fear factor as something that motivates you. When we know nobody, not even us, not even me and Hormiga, when we do these lives, when we do these, we'll use the lives as an example. When we're doing these lives, when we're doing these shows, we never know what the outcomes are going to be, right? We just bring you the knowledge, we bring you the information, and we just go with what our guts are, right? We're confident enough to know what we have, but we still don't know what's going to happen during these lives. We don't know what's going to come out when we do these type of shows, but we do it anyway, right? We do it anyway. Even though we know the fear of the unknown is possible, we still do it, right? But some people look for things that they're not prepared for, right? You can be prepared and then seek the unknown, but you have the tools to handle it when it happens. Some people don't have the tools to handle it when it happens, but they're seeking things that they're not ready for. You got to be prepared for what's to come. And if you're not prepared, then do not seek it. I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense. Don't seek something that you're not prepared for.
Let me give them another sentence that might resonate with them, so we could give them two different perspectives. We always tell you, be very careful and to pick and choose your battles correctly. But here's the other part to it: be careful what you ask for.
Ooh,
You do
okay.
not, if you do not understand
Dottie in
what
the
you're
building.
getting into, then there shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, any resistance. Because if you don't know what you're getting into, that's a learning experience. But
Right.
most of the time, we are the ones that put ourselves in the positions to lose because we feel that we're higher than what we really are.
Fair. 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 So last week we left off talking about why external chaos hits so hard. That's where we left off. And we kind of dived into it with Coach Derek, who was here as well, when we was having this conversation. Appreciate him. Or make sure you guys are following Sit Down and Heal. He was amazing. That live was amazing last week. You guys missed it. It was such a dope conversation. But we left off with the question of, with the statement of chaos outside eventually becomes chaos inside if you're exposed long enough. And we kind of broke that down. We kind of broke that down as much as we could possibly break it down with the time frame that we had. So now we're gonna go into this one right here. I appreciate the gift. Show out, Dottie. I appreciate you. I don't even have a gift thing ready. I don't even know how to put the gift thing up with all these new updates that they have. So I'm sorry if I don't put a gift thing up, guys. I'll put a flash goal up. I don't know. So the next part of that was people often normalize external chaos by saying that's just how it is instead of realizing it's unhealthy. I hope you caught that. I don't know if you're listening, bro, but I hope you caught that. I'll read it again for people in the chat. People often normalize external chaos by saying that's just how it is instead of realizing it's unhealthy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But there's a little twist to that too. Some people just have to realize when they don't have the time, the patience, or the energy. Right? They don't have the time, the patience, or the energy. And it's good to recognize. You know, a lot of times we get into conversations that we don't have the time and effort for, and then halfway in the conversations we get upset. We're like, oh, I should have never got into this conversation. That is a decision that you have to get better at before you allow yourself to be put in that situation. Yeah. That's your call. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do a better job
Andrea, welcome
at thinking we could get into something and get out of it really quickly. That's not the way it works.
No, you have to be aware of your capacity, man. Like we had that conversation too about your capacity. Like if you're not in a space where you can have a conversation, or you feel like you don't want to be bothered, right? You have to vocalize that, because people don't know that, right? People, especially if somebody that's really close to you, that really trusts you, that knows that you know, that usually comes to you when they're going through something, when they have hardship. If you're not in a space where you can handle that, where your capacity is not where it's supposed to be, you have to vocalize that, because nobody's a mind reader. We're not mind readers, right? Vocalize the fact that you're not ready to have that conversation, or you're not in a space to have that conversation.
And look at their face. And look at their face when you say no. Look at their face when you say right now I'm not saying no, just not right now. Look at their face and see if they're disappointed or not. Because then you have to raise the question, is it me you want to talk to, or you just looking to outlet whatever it is that's on your mind?
Appreciate you, Lomax. No, that's facts. Their body language will tell you everything you need to know.
But again, the important question is, I want to know what my role is in your life. When my brother Teddy calls me, ask him if I don't tell him what it's about. What is this about? And he doesn't get offended, because he knows it's not that I'm picking and choosing. It's because I know if I have the capacity to have a conversation that's going to last more than. And this is what people do when they lie. Bro, do you have a minute? What kind of minute is that? Is that an Australian minute? Is that a Puerto Rican minute? Is that a black minute? What kind of minute is that? Because people do that all the time. They set you up. They go, all I need is 5 minutes of your time. 5 minutes later, you still haven't had a chance to talk.
Fair. Facts.
That's wild, bro. Wild behavior. We're just giving you the information. You do what you want with it.
No, that's facts, and that happens a lot more times than we believe. That, listen, it's crazy how that you brought that up, and that happens a lot, right? Good morning, me. I see you. It happens a lot, and we ignore it. We ignore it. We really do ignore it, and I don't know if it's because we just don't want to shut that person out, right? If we don't want to shut that person out, we don't know what that person's going through, so we feel like we don't want to shut them out, or it's just that we have this attachment to this person so deep that we don't feel like we can say no. You get what I'm saying? Like it has to be one of the two.
Wow.
Like
you got to repeat that, bro. I'm sorry. You got to repeat that, because that's so important.
I mean, like really think about it though, because when you have a longevity friendship, right? When there's a longevity friendship, not at the same time, there's such an attachment to that person that you feel like you can't say no. Like
Right, and that affects your tolerance level. Correct. That's what I
affects
wanted to say.
if
You're right.
it don't only affect your tolerance level, it also affect, your boundaries. Like your boundaries is in regards to that person, your boundaries are non-existent unless your boundaries was vocalized in the beginning.
Again, how many times are we going to talk about before we sit down and play
Absolutely, no,
dominoes,
Max. Absolutely.
before we sit down and play Uno, before we sit down and play spades, are we playing county? Are we playing inner city? Are we playing Puerto Rican? Are we playing Haitian? Which Uno are we playing? The same way you people don't say anything. They go, "Oh, I didn't know the rules." What do you mean you didn't know the rules? And they laugh at you. "Oh, you don't know these rules? You don't know these rules?" Of course I don't know these rules because I play the way that the actual instructions tell you to play. Right? But then people take it upon themselves to say, all I need is 1 minute of your time. All I need is 5 minutes of your time. And then guess what happens? You tell them, yo, bro, you've been talking for 5 minutes. And you know what? They'll say, oh, you know that it's just a figure of speech.
But that, I think so. I'll give the other side, right? I'll give the other side because Lomax said something in the chat, and it's very true, right? It's fair to say that a person, where'd it go? It's fair to say a person may just need an ear to vent in. Very true.
Correct.
100% understandable, right? And I'm with that too because I've had conversations with people when they needed that ear, and you know what I'm saying. But me personally, this is just me. If somebody calls me to vent, I ask them, "Are you looking for advice, or are you looking for an ear?" Because I am a coach, right? So I want to know: do you need the coach or do you need the friend? Because if you need the coach,
Bingo. You
then
need the shoulder or you need the logic. What you want.
right. Because what are you looking for? Because if you need the coach, then we're gonna have to actually set up a session. If you need the friend,
But, but, but here's the thing. You don't
like
have
you
to
know
be
what I'm
a
saying?
coach.
Like I need to know
That's
which version of me you need, because if
that's
you need the
funny, bro.
friend, then I got you, right? I got you. But if you need the coach, then you need to go to my website. Go set up a session. You know what I'm saying? So we can have a conversation. Cause this knowledge ain't free.
You know what, bro? You just touched on something that's going to itch a lot of asses. Watch this. So you don't have to be a coach to be a human being. Okay? A human being is a person that puts himself in the position for you to win and the person that you're dealing with. If you ask somebody, hey, you need me to give some feedback or you want just to vent? What you're doing is starting to give unsolicited advice, right? So you must know what you need to do because you could be talking something that you don't need to talk. Maybe the person just
Right.
needs a minute of your time. But what I'm saying is the power of asking someone, do you need to vent or you need my voice? They actually will feel better that you ask them and they might consider it faster if you just hear them out. They'll actually ask you. But if you just jump in and start giving advice without asking that question, then you might be shutting down something that is not necessary and is actually enabling it to be worse. So please make sense of it. That's all I'm trying to say. I know that was long-winded, but I got it out.
I mean, it wasn't long winded. It was factual. Like, and information is information, no matter how long or short it is. But the thing is, and for the people that are new here, right? Um, Word of advice from here: when you're here, we don't give anything fluffy. You have a great day, Ivan, man. Have a great day on purpose. We don't do much of the fluffy over here because it's already a lot of people don't grow from the fluffy, from the comfortable. They don't. Like we give the most uncomfortable truth as possible because we want them to for it to resonate and want it to hit, so that way they can understand it. You know what I'm saying? We try not to we try not to do too much of the fluff. But it's the truth, right? This is the honest truth, and we're trying to give you guys as much truth as possible, much transparency in regards to this. And we have to, when there's lack of communication, right, in within your time, space, and boundaries, that's chaotic in itself. That's chaotic within itself, right? When you don't have that vetting process attached to your boundaries. You have to have that level of communication attached to your boundaries, attached to your space, right? If you're not in a space where you can have a conversation, you need to say that. You need to say that. You need
Yeah.
to vocalize that. Don't think that just because they're your friend that they know your energy. That's not how that works. Not everybody has that connection with that person, no matter how long you've known them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to vocalize these things. You have to say these things out loud and like, listen, I know you're going through something. I know you wanted to talk, but I'm not in the headspace to have this conversation right now. Can we try to do this another time?
Or what's wrong as the receiver? Let's play bad cop, good cop here.
Go
As
ahead.
the receiver, you once in a while we have to admit that you're not the person to help them with that.
Fair, fair,
That's heavy. That's heavy.
fair,
That's heavy because we
fair,
all want to be know-it-alls. For all of us that get into
fair,
the mode of learning,
fair,
you could be
fair.
addicted to learning too. You know what I'm saying? Think that you
Yeah,
know everything. And
yeah.
that's not. No, 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 no.
No,
Let's not do that.
fair. I like that. Fair. That's fair. Absolutely, 100%. We talked about that with the conversation we had when we was talking about therapy. People lying,
Right?
right? You're not their therapist. You don't have to be their therapist. You are not their therapist. Actually,
No.
let's put
Just
that
like
out there.
just like a person that's into law, right? A person that's into law in their profession, and they can't leave that skill at work. They bring it home, and then they think that you're under investigation. Or think about it. You know how many people do not shift over or transition over to I'm going home to my family mode. They bring that work home, and they
Yeah,
think that their family is the
yeah.
jury and the judge, and they practice. If they're a lawyer or if they're an accountant, everything is all mathematics.
Hmm.
Balance, baby, balance. You're hitting on a lot of nice things there, bro. You're hitting on a lot of nice things. Continue about the conversation piece, like how difficult it is to have a conversation, especially when you're not ready to deal with certain things yourself, but you put yourself in the line of fire.
So one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of people, and this is just me paying attention and observing, right? Is a lot of people they're not mentally there for themselves, right? And when somebody is asking for advice or wanting a lending ear, as Lomas has said, they get triggered within the conversation when they choose to have the conversation with that person, right? So how are you able to assist somebody or help somebody when you yourself get triggered within the conversation that you guys are having? Where's the help coming from? Because at this point, both of you need help.
Pause right there. Pause right there. How many times do we go into a conversation, and this is a general statement, ladies and gentlemen, person is going to trigger you, but you don't realize that you want to change that person instead of you being a little bit more tolerant and patient.
You can't always be on goal. You're always okay. No, right. No facts. I mean, no, like you gotta think about that.
Let's
You have to think about that because
put it into perspective.
now you got to ask yourself: am I helping this person or am I trauma bonding with this person in this conversation? What are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? When if you know that you yourself are lending an ear to somebody when you're not mentally prepared to handle it, you don't have the mental capacity, you don't have the tools to regulate your triggers, right? If you're gonna have this conversation with somebody, you end up trauma bonding with the person, and then instead of it being a genuine friendship or genuine connection, it was never a friendship to begin with. It was a trauma bonding situation, and yeah.
Oh, man.
I
All right.
mean,
How about this? How
I
about
don't
this?
know
How
what
about
else to
this?
say in regards to
No,
that.
no,
Like,
no. Add this to it, brother. Add this to it. How about the people that instigate
Coach
and
Jared, can you
then
go?
try to say that it's motivation.
I'll let you handle that. I'll let you have that. You can yeah, go ahead. Have fun with that.
No, I want you to chime in on this. There are some people that are enablers, right?
Okay, fair.
I'm a firm believer that if you don't have something to offer, then don't offer anything. Don't feel compelled to give something. But there are people that naturally, or they were taught to do this, or they practice this and they don't even realize this. They instigate things, they trigger people, and they'll do instigating words, and they'll play a pun on words, and they'll reword things, or they'll have a moment where their tone
Play Russian roulette
escalates.
with their
Some people
words.
talk to you on
Miss Ruby, welcome
purpose
in.
to instigate you. You see it in these hosts all the time. I was actually could be accused of that myself. I'm not innocent when it comes to
I
that.
mean, we've all had our moments. I'm not gonna like I
I'm
have.
just saying. I like to push people so that to get their mechanics going, to get their juices flowing. I want people to get up and fucking do something.
I mean, that makes sense though. Even in the sense of positive, like having people rewire their brain to focus on self. Like sometimes you have to push that button. I mean, I'm not gonna act like we haven't done it over the last 5 years we've been doing this. We've done it quite a few times.
You've done it to me, and I didn't like it. And
I remember doing that too. I did that. I did that right on live. I did that right on live. So, what he's talking about
respond
was
to certain
it was a
things
conversation
because
of
that's what's going to
procrastination.
make the difference, right?
It was the conversation of procrastination. That was that. Well, that was that live. I think I triggered
That was the
everybody.
one where I thought we was in an MMA match. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I
Like,
think I triggered everybody in that live. I triggered everybody in that live. I'm not gonna lie to you, because even the conversation of procrastination is like we all procrastinate. You know, it's a part of everybody's everyday. Like you know what I'm saying. But I think I have
imagine if we did it. Imagine if we were on gun ho mode. I mean, I've done it. You see me on gun ho mode.
right.
It's not sustainable. It's gun ho mode all
Mika,
the
welcome in.
time. Like, it doesn't work. You gotta take a chill.
Oh,
You gotta
facts.
relax. You know that. You see me on
I'm
go
running.
all out mode, and you warn me. You say you know it's gonna happen, right? And I'm like, oh, we'll see. And
Yes,
it happens.
every time. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know.
It's
My level of mindfulness, because I guess it's because I'm like when it comes to me and Hormiga, I'm the calm one, right? I'm the one that's usually just calm and just like and just I can't say
95% of the time, you're not gonna get the whole 100. All
I'm not
right,
gonna
I'm
get the
gonna
whole
give you
100. I don't want
95%.
the whole 100 because there's days where I be eating my zoomies, but I just be like I'm just observing, right? I don't say much. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I just let him do Hormiga. You know what I'm saying? I just let him do Ant because I know that's just who he is naturally as a person. So just like, and then once he calms down from that energy, then we have a real conversation, and he just like, and then things just start to click. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it operates. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? I just have to move like that because I've lived with so much chaotic energy around me, and not all bad chaotic energy. Some of the things is good, some of it's bad, but I've lived with it for so long that my calmness and just me being timid and just relaxed and not all hyperactive helps a lot of people because if I'm not indulging in their energy, then it gives them another thing to think about, right? Because I'm not indulging in the hyperactive energy, so he's not seeing me be as hyped. Because if I'm hyped with him, he's gonna stay hyped. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just gonna stay like that. So it's just like I tried not to match his energy because if I match his energy, then nothing's gonna change. So I try not to match his energy, and I just stay in my calmness, and then it trickles down. It happens all
I
the
mean,
time.
brother, it's happening in real time, and that's what people don't understand. Look at the way me and this man relate, right? Look at the way we relate, right? There has to be a common
These
bond
sweets.
because he has boundaries, I have boundaries, right? But we have these common boundaries. If you really want to know what a relationship really is if you're not gelling, if you're not relating, then it's not a relationship. It's just a coexistence, ladies and gentlemen. So stop the bullshit.
Very true. So the next part of this is probably going to trigger a lot of people. Okay. I want you guys to brace yourself for this part. So, in regards to the external chaos, right? The cost of living within it, within the actual chaos itself, right? The first one that I put down was constant tension keeps your body in fight or flight mode. I.e., anxiety, high blood pressure, and sleeplessness. I'll read it
And you're
again.
just getting started.
I'm gonna read it again, just in case anybody missed it. Constant tension keeps your body in fight or flight mode, i.e., anxiety, high blood pressure, sleeplessness. The one thing I didn't add to it because I would think it's obvious, stress. I didn't want to put I would think everybody know that chaos can easily cause stress, right? Because you're forcing your mind, literally forcing your mind to get to adapt to this lifestyle. It's not even a part of your lifestyle. You're trying to force your neurologic to like literally force this lifestyle on your body. You're forcing this on you. You don't have to live in chaos. It's not something that you have to live in. It's a choice. It's a choice. Not saying that we didn't grow. Some people grow up in the chaotic world. I did, but I got out of it. Right? I grew out of it. I seen what it was doing to me, and I was mindful of the damage that it was doing, and I got out of it. I got out of it. Transparency. Okay? I grew up in a chaotic environment. I'm Haitian. Everything about the Haitian culture is chaotic. Just saying. If you don't know that, now you know. Chaotic. Okay? Everything about it. Like there's no lack of chaos. It comes from all aspects. All right? And that was my life. Okay? That was my life. And I knew it. And I'm coming and I'm from Brooklyn. So, chaos. Grew up in it. Moved to Providence, Rhode Island. Chaos. It's like it was just chaos on top of chaos. Like it was never there was no slowing down with the chaos. It was just chaos on top of chaos, no matter where I was. And I had to adapt to that or I would fall apart. So I adapted to it until I became an adult and then I changed. I switched my mindset. It took some time. It took some therapy. It took some coaching and some mentoring, but I was very, very dedicated and motivated to change. I wanted to change, not for anybody else, just for me. You know what I'm saying? For me. And a lot of people won't admit this, but I will admit this. I enjoyed the fucking chaos. I did. I enjoyed it. 100%. I enjoyed the chaos to the point where I didn't realize it was doing damage to people that were in my 5 meter perimeter around me. The 6 perimeter. Was it the 6 thing perimeter? What's it called, Hormiga? I think
No, that's your circle. Just keep it simple. The circle, your circle.
my
The
circle.
circle.
So the perimeter
Yeah.
of people around me. The perimeter of people around me, like my mom, my sister, my best friend, my kids. You know what I'm saying? And the relationship that I was in at the time, like the people around me, it was doing damage to everybody. It was doing damage to everybody. And I didn't realize that it was doing so because people weren't vocalizing it. They thought that it was normal. They thought that this was just who I was as a person. And that's not the case. That wasn't me. That was just me dealing with what I needed to deal with. Right? That was just me dealing with my life. And I changed all of that. Right? To try to be better. Not only for myself, but for my kids. Because I didn't want them to think that this was normal. Because none of it was normal. And I had to change. Like, you know what I'm saying? None of it was normal. And the reason why the reason why I have the balance that I have, which is why we always have the conversation about balance, because I grew up in chaos. So when I found the peace, boom, I got everything that I need now. I don't need anything else. I already dealt with the chaos. I know how to. I've had the experience. I know what it looks like. I know what it is. I know how to avoid it if it comes my way. I don't have to experience it anymore because I've already experienced it. So now I was seeking the peace. When I found the peace, yin and yang, guys. You see how that looks like? That's what it looks like in real time. That's what it looks like in real time. Now that you heard that, right? I know long-winded. I know, I'm sorry. But that's something that you have to think about. When it comes to causing your body to have all this tension, putting your body through all this stress, making your blood pressure go high, having your anxiety go through the roof. 9 out of 10 times, the things that we're holding on to is not even ours. Let's talk about that. The things that we hold on to is not even ours. It's not our stress. It's not our problems. It's other people's problems. Because most times we're people pleasing. We're always trying to help somebody before we help ourselves. We put ourselves in front of everybody else's mess and everybody else's bullshit. And instead of focusing on us. Lovely, welcome in. Instead of focusing on self. We've all done it. We've all done it, right? Some of us are still doing it, right? Accountability, guys. Hello. Some of us are still doing it, right? It always, exactly, lovely. It always goes, if you guys been in here, you guys know it always goes back to self. I'm just saying, if you guys have been in here, you guys know that's what we focus on here. Here at Mind Your Mental, we focus on self. Because that's the most important thing, is you. That's it. You. Because once you're able to focus on you and become the better version of you, then you can use that flow that becomes an overflow, and you get to delegate where, right, you let that flow go to, who you let that flow go to. But you can't have an overflow, or you can't have something to pour from if you have nothing to pour. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The math ain't
mathing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
It's not mathing. Like, you have to be mindful of all of that. Like, it's that important. You know what I'm saying? All right, brother. Happy birthday again, man.
Happy birthday.
I want you guys to really hear my words, and I promise you my word is coming from love. It's not coming from hate. It's not coming from negative energy. This is all coming from love. It's all coming from concern. It really is. It's coming from concern. Lovely. Stick around. 11:30, I'm going to let everybody up, guys. So if you guys want to come up at 11:30, you can. But this is all coming from love. It really is. It's all coming from love. It's coming from concern. We have too many people focusing on people that don't give a damn about them. We have too many people focusing on people that need to really put it this way. Most of us, right, are able to even see our own reflection in the mirror. Most of us can't even see our own reflection in the mirror. But you know what you are seeing in the mirror? All the times you people pleased. All the times that you help somebody else try to be better instead of helping yourself. All the times that you poured into a cup when you yourself didn't even have enough to pour for yourself, or to keep for yourself, or have for yourself. That's what you're seeing in the mirror. It's not your own reflection, because if it was your own reflection, then you would be able to be transparent with yourself. What did we say during that conversation of people lying in therapy? People don't even go to therapy with the truth. They don't even go to therapy with the truth. They don't even tell themselves the truth before they step into that room. And then when they go to therapy, they're not even giving the therapist exactly what they need to focus on or what they're struggling with.
A second. Can we say that there's a decent amount of people that are going to therapy because they're forced to go to therapy? And then there's another group that is voluntarily doing it. And there are different reasons why people seek therapy. So again, This all breaks down to your desire and your interest in doing things in the right
Moving.
way.
Right.
Preparing yourself as much as you can before you do anything in life. Think about it, but don't stay there thinking forever, because then it becomes procrastination. I mean, I don't know how easy we could explain it, that we are at fault for pouring into something that we have fumes of. We're able to be there for everyone and absorb all of their negativity, and then we share it. So whatever it is that we're giving forward is coming from a bad place, because all you're doing is filling yourself up with other people's negative energy anyway. So does that make sense?
It does. Absolutely. 100%.
It's painful. It's painful to hear, but you got to be able to look at pain and say, pain is going to make me a better person. Pain is not going to destroy me.
Pain is not there to destroy you. That's the thing. It's not meant to destroy. It's meant to make
You're
you.
supposed to learn that, right? Aren't we supposed to learn from those moments where you feel like, to me, when things
The
hit
moment.
me, I feel like an alligator's biting me.
Interesting. So I'm gonna skip a little bit further in, right? Because I really wanna touch on this before we get off of here. So show of hands, right? And be as transparent and honest as you possibly can be, right? And if you don't want to answer the question, you don't have to answer the question. But how many people that are here feel like their chaos is inherited? How many people here right now currently feel like their chaos is inherited or was inherited?
Well, I'm gonna say that a nice portion of it can be. It comes from different reasons, but I believe that inherit, for the word inherit, yeah, that is a passed down generational thing. Has a lot to do with that.
Mm-hmm. It does. And I
Your
like,
environment, right?
you know what I like right now? And I appreciate everybody in the chat, right? Because I wasn't expecting anybody to just say yes. So that's why I'm glad that you guys are really mindful of your words. And I appreciate that, because the next portion of this, right, after the inherited, is the intentional. So I'm glad everybody is like, yes, but also, I chose it, or I created it, or, it's a combination of both. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, because that shows that accountability is there. So give yourself a round of applause for that one. 100%.
It's not my fault.
Give yourself a round of applause for that one, because that right there shows growth. Shows growth. So if ain't nobody ever said they're proud of you, I'm proud of you, because that right there is growth. 100%. Give yourself a pat on the back, a round of applause for that one right there. It's Armika's fault.
Don't do that.
Miss Whitney, welcome in.
Oh my God, let's go.
So,
Let's go.
so I have written here: emotional and behavioral patterns handed down through family and culture, or culture. Possible. It's not always, but it's possible. I'm not gonna stay too far. I'm not gonna stay here for too long, because, like I said, it's a hit or miss, and whether people are willing to tell the truth or not, that's between them and them, and God. But I'm just kind of gonna give you guys what I have here, and if it resonates with you, right, then it's giving you something to think about, something to kind of dive into, something to do research on. But the first one was emotional and behavioral patterns handed down through family or culture. Not always intentional. Not always intentional. Hear my words. Parents or caregivers modeled what survival looked like, and it became your normal. I heard that, Hormiga. I heard that huff. You want me to repeat it?
Do it again.
Not always intentional. Parents or caregivers modeled what survival looked like and it became your normal.
I mean, it starts out that way a lot. Everybody's culture has their bad things and their good things, right? But we
Yeah.
don't know what good or bad is because we're doing all of it. We learn what we learn. We learn what we're exposed to. We mimic what we see. Even if we don't want to be these people, we end up being these people because we're watching it so much that it becomes part of our everyday existence, our everyday understanding of what's normal because it repeats itself. Repetition to us gets translated into what normal is, and we become whatever we see the most.
No, very true. Fun fact. Did you guys know, ladies, right, that have children, that if you are in constant chaos while you are pregnant, or you
Uh-huh.
were living in chaos while you are pregnant, or living with your triggers and traumas, that can also um pass down to your children.
We had that conversation, Bill. We talked about shadow work. We talked about going to see the young kid in your life and telling that kid, hey, it's not your fault, and stopping there because it's the first kid that you see, but you might have to go a little bit deeper. We are born into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
A deliverance and a separation between you and your mother is chaotic. And you're carrying all that stuff that she went through, unfortunately. And yeah, it is hereditary, absolutely. Through the bloodline, through the spirits, through everything else that exists in life.
Mm-hmm.
It's all affected, ladies and gentlemen. So we have to do a better job at recognizing it because it's slowly unaliving us in so many different ways.
Absolutely. So when you start seeing your child start to embody behaviors and mentalities that you had not as an adult but in their childhood stage, is because obviously they don't know anything about your childhood, so what they inherited was the way that you were acting and reacting with your trauma and your triggers as an adult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we hold our kids hostage without even knowing it.
Don't shoot the messenger. I just want to give you guys some, just want to give you guys some information.
No,
Good
no,
morning,
no,
good
we're
morning,
not
your
doing
mama.
that.
I just want to give you guys some information because they don't know nothing about your childhood, but they do know about your adulthood because they're in your stomach while you're an adult. So everything that you're going through, everything that you're struggling with, everything that you are dealing with, your traumas, your triggers, all of that overall, while you are pregnant, they are dealing with that together with you. They're
Yeah, you're
bonded with
creating
you.
you're creating something. It doesn't make sense. You're creating something, right? And whatever it is that you're eating, they're eating, right? Whatever it is that you're absorbing, they're absorbing. Whatever it is that you feel, they feel. Like you could. I guess you can say that when a kid is inside of the womb and doing all this crazy stuff, right, and growing, that it's actually an organ
Mm-hmm.
to the mother. It's an organ. It's an organ. I mean, organism, right? It
Right.
turns into a human being. It's something that's growing. And then I guess we have to spend a portion of separating the kid so the kid could have his own individuality. Yeah, wishful thinking, right? In our cultures, but in
Absolutely.
our cultures, don't do that.
So you know why I brought that up, right? You know why I brought that up, right? Because unfortunately, we ignore the science behind a lot of these conversations. Science is huge. Science is everything, guys. I promise you. But we can't ignore the science behind a lot of these conversations. So epigenetics, right, is why I brought that up. So epigenetics are trauma and stress that can leave marks on DNA expressions, influencing how the future generation reacts to stress. And that can also trickle down to trauma and all the other, right? Like I said, don't shoot the messenger. Please don't shoot the messenger. I just want you guys to be mindful. Like if something is like clicking now to like your child acting up when they were younger, and you were like, damn, I used to do this when I was a kid, or I do this now as an adult, but they're doing this as a child. You're welcome. I just thought I'd put that out there because it's necessary to the conversation. It's just something to think about, people. That's all. Something to think about. I just wanted to put that out there because we ignore the main focus of these things, and that's to really give you guys some thought-provoking things to think about. You know what I'm saying? And then they're doing it 3 times worse, right? And you know why? You know why that is, Coach? It's because you yourself, right, as an adult. I'll just use you for an example since you made that comment, right? Because as an adult, right, especially if you're pregnant, most times you haven't dealt with any of your stuff, right? You haven't dealt with your traumas. You haven't dealt with any of that stuff. You haven't gone through the therapy, the coaching, the mentoring, anything that you need to actually regulate all that you're dealing with, right? So they haven't inherited the regulation of these things that you're currently struggling with. So instead of just inheriting the good and the bad, they're just inheriting the bad, right? And when they're born, you still haven't dealt with any of your shit, right? Still haven't dealt with any of your shit. So now they're not only inheriting the stuff that you're dealing with, but now they're seeing it in real time. Like, I don't know if everybody's getting this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a double whammy. It's a double whammy. So not only did they deal with it, they dealt with it in your stomach. They're dealing with it out of your stomach, right? And then when they become adults, they have to deal with it again because it hasn't been dealt with yet. 3 times the charm. 3rd time's the charm. You see how that works? That's what a generational curse is. Generational curse, people. Generational trauma. You, the child, and the adulthood. I thought so too, but yeah, no. What was the name of the science you mentioned? It's called epigenetics. I will put it in the chat. I will write it in the chats if I can find my comment thing. I'll write it in the chat for you guys. But it is something to look into, guys. It's something to look into. I think it's pretty dope. I just want everybody to be mindful of these things, man. That's it. I just want we're trying to help people see there's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot that goes into this. I would definitely look into it. I think it's pretty dope. I had fun actually researching all of this. I really did. There's a lot that comes in it. So one of the things I want you to Hormiga, you ready for this? Now, mind you guys, me and Hormiga have not compared notes. I know I've been saying it for the last couple of lives because it's true. We have not compared any notes. He doesn't know notes that I have. I don't know notes that he has. We're kind of just in sync like that and just letting things rock the way that it is, right? So, signs that you're living in inherited chaos. Hear me, hear me, hear me. This is not an attack on anybody. If you feel triggered, just take a lap, come back, okay? Constantly drawn to drama-filled relationships. That's number 1. Constantly drawn to drama-filled relationships. Anxiety when things are too quiet. Reacting in ways that mirror your parents, even though you swore you wouldn't. I'm going to read that again.
No. Time out. No.
I knew he was going to come off of mute for that one.
No, and no. Wait a minute. Whoa. We're gonna go before that. We're hold up a second. We're, we're gonna go before that. This is, by the way, this is my old neighborhood. We're talking about generational curses, and here I am in the belly of the beast, Bronx,
Uh,
New York, ladies and gentlemen. So now, now it's on. Talk about what you just said before that about the quiet, the anxiety that you
the
feel because it's
anxiety
too
when
quiet.
things, when anxiety when things are too quiet.
Right there. Stay right there. Don't go forward from that, because this is the same thing as people that's never felt love, and when they feel it for the first time, they don't recognize it, so they think it's chaos, right?
Fair.
This is for people that don't know what peace looks like, right? So when you're in your peace, it's too quiet. You're already anticipating something going wrong, and you just manifested it
What's
because you
going on,
couldn't sit
Howard?
in silence. Are you serious? We're not gonna do this, bro. You're not gonna just try to skip like that.
I was just seeing what you were doing. I didn't know
I
what you
was
were
waiting
doing.
to park. I was on the road. For those that don't know, that's why I wasn't showing my face, because I'm in the middle of moving around. But no, you wasn't just gonna get away with that like that. You crazy? No, are you bugging? Listen, that is so important, because that's what it is. That a lot of people can't sit in silence. That's why
Hmm.
people don't meditate. This is why people don't ground. This is why people that refuse to believe it, because they get this uncomfortable feeling when quiet happens, right? And that's so important. Please do not skip through that. And I know you did that on purpose to trigger me, but talk about that a little bit more. Sitting in your silence, being able to feel like you're doing something, even if you're in silence and nobody's clapping for you. That's another example, right?
Yes, I think so. I'll talk about that part right there. Right.
Please.
Um, needing the validation of approval and applause. A lot of people need to hear people clapping for them. They need to hear people saying that they're proud of you. They need people to give them that sense of validation, and they can't celebrate themselves on their own. So if let's say if somebody that's really that they did something, they accomplished something that they wanted to accomplish, and they wanted to they shared it with the world, but yet they didn't get the recognition that they wanted or they thought that they deserved. Their anxiety is gonna go through the roof. Their anxiety is gonna go through the roof. You're muted, by the way. You're muted. Hey, Pa.
Yo, this is Pops right here.
Hey,
That's
Pa. How
it.
you doing?
Yes, sir.
You can't don't forget about who he is. Say hello.
Hey, hi, how
What
are
are we do?
you?
What are we
How
doing
you
today?
doing?
We're gonna do a boxing.
Come on, you can do it. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna do something for boxing. World champion, they're gonna come today from Puerto Rico, New
Okay.
Jersey, Connecticut. A lot of fighters, they're gonna come today. We're gonna do something.
So what he's saying is that we're celebrating the World Week of Boxing, something that he created,
Right.
right? And we have a lot of champions that are going to come down, sit down with us. We're setting up right now. They're going to receive some awards, some recognition.
Love that.
And it's a nice little thing going on right here. Let me just turn this around for 1 second. Wait, there you go. This is what's happening right here.
Let's go.
That's what's happening.
Love that.
Yep. So yeah, stuff like that is what we get involved with. And unfortunately, for sometimes sit down and I think that I have to come back to the community that almost destroyed me, to the people that almost destroyed me, and that unfortunately not everybody's like me that has the strength and the resilience to see these things. So we're trying to get you to that point. I've been through. Listen, I'm 56 years old. I was born and raised in probably the worst place on earth, the way I look at it.
I look at it. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I don't even want to know if there's worse than this, because
I
that
don't
would
think there's
probably
anything
be.
worse than Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah,
Period.
that's what I'm saying. So again, if we can do it, you can do it. We can. There's so much energy here when I come here. Like, you want to talk about dealing with anxiety, having to come back over here and just looking around, right? And looking at everything that I've seen growing up. Like, I'm in the smack middle of all the projects. Like, I don't know
Right.
if you can see that over there.
Yeah, 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 I can see it.
You know, it's ridiculous over here. It's like this is a war zone over here. It's not funny. Um, so you hear the sirens?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, that's like the
It's
music. The
normal.
ghetto music is the sirens.
That's normal. That's normal. That's normal.
Look where I'm at, ladies and gentlemen. I have no shame. I'm on 142nd Street and Brook Avenue. I'll shout it out right here in the South Bronx, right? It's just action all over the place. Carry on, my brother.
No, that's facts. I appreciate you sharing that with us, honestly. You guys, listen, it's real out here, man. Like when you come here, and I praise us a lot right here over here because we've put in the work. Like we put in the work to make this show what it is, right? We've put in the work to give you guys what we give you guys, and we put in the work to bring you guys the knowledge that we bring you. And like I said, we never know what this show is gonna come with. We never know what's gonna happen. I didn't know that he was in the Bronx. I haven't had a conversation with him over the phone in a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know where he was. I didn't know where he was landing. I don't know if he was at home. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So you never know what you're gonna come with when you're here. Everything just happens. So, and it's meant to happen, right? It's something that it just so happens that everything that's being said and everything that's being showed and kind of gels with the conversation that we're having. He's literally in the place where he grew up, where all the chaos rang. You know what I'm saying? And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing that he's able to be there and not get completely triggered. Because I'm sure there's a little bit of trigger there, but he also has his resilience. So he's bodega baddie. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I just took him into the bodega. You know, let me see something. I listen. This is the school where I grew up at, and I'll show you. December 20th, we're doing a talent show right here. Let me show you this. December 20th, we're doing a talent show in the school, and we're also doing a toy and a clothing giveaway. So yeah, we do some crazy stuff over here.
Absolutely. But no, he said no bodega baddie, he's bodega daddy. I'm But no, so back to the conversation, right? So one of the things that I want to bring to you guys is breaking the cycle, right? I wanna let you guys I want you guys to hear my word, right? Hear my words. Your inherited trauma, your inherited chaos, it's not your fault. Okay? It is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And it's an unfortunate thing, but this is as true as it's gonna get. It is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You have to change the rhythm. It's time to change the rhythm. It's time to change the beat of the drums. It's time to change the tone that you take with the things that you've inherited. You have to change that. How do you change that? You gotta admit it to yourself that it didn't start with you, but it ends with you. Right? You can end all of this generational chaos, the generational trauma. You can make it happen. You can change it if you choose to change it. If you choose to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Having boundaries. The boundaries that you uphold, that you put in for yourself, right? It doesn't have to be the unhealthy boundaries that your family had. That and sometimes it's not even family. Sometimes it's just your guardian. Sometimes it's just your guardian. And sometimes it's just the person that you were raised, because not everybody was raised in their home. Sometimes some people were adopted. Some people were, in the DCYF office, like in the DCYF field, like in that environment. So it may not be just your blood relatives. It's just, it all depends on where you were born, your environment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me real quick? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Okay, so check it out. I want to show you that we don't play games over here. Look. Hold up. I'm on the stage right now.
The damn auditorium is huge.
Yeah, this is where I went to school when it used to be called Alexander Berger, right? And they kept it phenomenally like original, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I'm just gonna walk over there so they can get a shot from this way, okay? Thank you. Okay, so look, just to let you know what we're working with. Okay, if I walk over here, okay, hold on. If I walk over here, then you get to see, and I'm still going, am I?
Yeah, you are. Amigo's getting his steps in today, guys.
Oh man, I do my 10,000 all day. You know? So just to see that this, look at this, look at what's happening here. So now I'm gonna walk towards the auditorium. Like, watch this. And then say this is huge, and this is the exit, and we got to get the safety and everything working here. But this is a huge thing in collaboration with the Aspira of New York here. I used to work for them as well a long time ago.
Nice.
Yes.
Love that. Love that.
You know what I want to do with you? I'm going to give you my digital card because I don't have a paper one. I don't do the digital thing anymore. Hold on a second, fellas. Go ahead, carry on.
No, go ahead, mute yourself, bro. All right. Yeah, in regards to your boundaries, right? In regards to your boundaries, you have to make sure that you don't inherit the bad boundaries that your family had, right? Don't repeat the unhealthy family dynamics that you grew up in, right? You have to change all that. I got you, Coach Mel. I'll invite you once we go live again. We're doing another live next week, so I got you. I'll create a registry for you guys and let you guys know that it's available. Promise you. You have to make sure that the boundaries that you are upholding is the boundaries that you created for yourself, not the boundaries that were a part of the unhealthy dynamics, not the boundaries that were a part of the unhealthy chaos, not a part of any of that. You have to change the whole trajectory of what your boundaries look like in order for you to make a proper change to be better for you, right? I think that's the most important thing right there is the boundaries. And don't be afraid to go to therapy. Don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, right? Don't be afraid to ask for help. I know a lot of us, we don't like arbitrators, right? We don't like people giving us guidance. We don't like people pushing us to want help or pushing the help on us. But if you want to be better, like you have to be able to be beside yourself, man. Like to stop trying to think that you can just do it all on your own. Because even me, I didn't do it on my own. It took some time, took some work, it took a lot of people to get me where I am today. It did. It took me a lot. It took me some people to really dive into what was wrong with me, so that way I can become who I am today. So that way I'm able to actually do these type of lives with you guys, able to give you guys what we give you here. It took work. I had to get out of my own ego, right? In order to show that it's possible to actually be better. And when I tell you guys there's a light at the end of the tunnel, there is. It's beautiful on this side. It really is. It's beautiful on this side. But it takes work. You listen, that's New York for you. That's New York for you. You never know what you're gonna get. I told you, we had this conversation, babe, the other day. I told you, you never know what you're gonna get in New York. You never you never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get. You see everything in New York. Everything. It's crazy. So now we're gonna talk about the part that nobody wants to admit. What's going on, OG? The intentional chaos. The intentional chaos. Right? When people choose the chaos, right? What is intentional chaos? When someone deliberately creates instability to gain control, attention, or avoid accountability. When someone deliberately creates instability to gain control, attention, or avoid accountability. When they're choosing to create inconsistencies, when they're choosing to create drama, when they're choosing to create the negative, when they inherit the negative for their own purpose. I don't know if anybody's ever heard this, but if somebody says it's the if I can't find peace, nobody can mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not happy, you can't be happy. I'm sure we've all heard that before. If I'm not happy, you can't be happy. I'm not gonna let you be happy if I'm not happy. Or if I'm having a bad day, everybody has to have a bad day. We've all heard that before. We've all had individuals that have done that before. We've seen it on social media quite a few times. Yeah, I've heard that plenty of times. I'll give you an example. Starting an argument before progress is made, self-sabotaging right before success, or creating drama in the calm seasons. The create
Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Go back. Go back. Flag on the play.
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen.
Stop acting like I'm not listening. Flag on the play.
You want me to repeat it?
Of course.
Starting arguments before progress is made, self-sabotaging right before success, and creating drama in the calm seasons. That second one, it's that second one for me.
Right off the rip for me.
That second one,
Because the first one and the second one is kind of similar, right? But the
it's
third one
it's
switches
common,
the game.
and it's also common. Like
It's just we always do that. We get to a place, and this happens to me constantly, and I see this in people all the time, that I'm actually giving you what you're asking me for, and you're still fighting. I'm actually giving you what you're asking me for, and you're still fighting. We fight even when they're giving it to us. In the process of giving it to us, we're still in fight mode because we can't recognize that they've already made that adjustment, and it's us that's making it worse. That is horrible. Horrible.
I'm just saying, it's a real thing. What triggers me is if we're talking and you're not listening to me. I mean, I think that triggers a lot of people, honestly. So why do you guys think people create the chaos? Why do you guys think people create chaos? Like when you guys think about that, what comes to your mind when you think about people creating chaos? Boredom, true, could be, possibly. Attention, yeah, could be. Normalcy for them, that's a big one. That's usually the case. It makes them feel better, possible. Dame in the building, was good, bro. What about avoidance? What about seeking validation? Good shit, Lala. I see you. Good job, Lala. Thank you for the heart, me, bro. What about lack of control? They need to have control, right? Somebody said avoiding responsibility, avoiding and escaping expands responsibility. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right? Most people that involve themselves in chaos, they don't want to work on themselves. That's really the overall of it, right? They don't want to work on themselves, so they'll find any possible way to create the chaos, right? They'll find any possible way to avoid working on themselves. So all of what you guys said is facts. It's all of it. It's all of it in a nutshell. Believe it or not, it is all of it. So when you think about so after this live, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna start seeing shit. Cause you're gonna start going into different spaces in different rooms, and you're gonna start catching these things, right? You're gonna start catching these things. That's usually what happens to me, which is why I don't really go into many spaces, right? Is because when we have these conversations, it kind of restarts my brain, and now I start seeing shit, and I'm just like, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm going the other way. I don't want to deal with it. Cool on that, right? So y'all gonna start seeing shit. Y'all gonna start seeing it the moment that you get out of here. Like you're gonna start scrolling, or you're gonna be walking around, or you're probably gonna have a conversation with somebody. You're gonna catch one of these things that we spoke about, and you're gonna be like, boundaries. Appreciate you, brother, man. Appreciate you. So I'm going to give you guys what I wrote here. So I have fear of peace. The calm feels unsafe if chaos is all you've known. We've already had that conversation earlier, right? The need for control, keeping others unbalanced to make you feel powerful. So causing chaos in other people, causing chaos in other people's lives, kickstarting that chaos in other people's lives, kickstarting the negativity in other people's environment and other people's space and bubble. So that way you can feel you have some sense of control in their life. Now, shout out to Derek, because I don't know if you guys were in the live when he said this. The most dangerous thing that you can do is to set off chaos in somebody that strives off of peace, right? That strives off of peace, that actually did the work, okay? Because there's a reason why that they are literally holding in that chaos. You don't know what type of demon or person that's hiding within that chaos. And if you make that person come out, there is a beast out there or beast in there that you're not prepared to handle or deal with. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just leave it alone. Leave them alone, right? It's the quiet ones that you have to worry about. Because the quiet ones are the ones that actually hold on to a lot of shit. The ones that are peaceful, the ones that are quiet. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Because I promise you, the things that they're holding on to, you do not want to deal with in real time. Just saying. I think that shit's a joke. Shit ain't a joke. It's some real stuff. Somebody said validation in the chat. I think that was Lala. Validation seeking. Drama guarantees eyes on you even if it's toxic. And then avoidance. Easier to create mess than face their inner wounds. I think that was positive vibes that said that. So yeah. Yeah, just leave it alone. Like leave it alone. Signs of intentional chaos in action. Picking fights in healthy relationships. Quitting opportunities right before breakthroughs. Making reckless choices during stability. And surrounding yourself with people who fuel dysfunction. Time out. Pause right there. Pause right there. Surrounding yourself with people who fuel dysfunction, i.e., the people pleasers of chaos, the people pleasers of negativity, the people that say, oh, I don't want nothing to do with this. Oh, I'm just going to let them do what they do. Oh, I don't think they're really doing anything wrong. I just feel like, it's misunderstood. I feel like people are just interpreting it the wrong way. You are the problem. You are the fucking problem. You're the problem. I'm trying not to be triggered here because I dealt with this last year. Okay, this is me trying not to be triggered in real time. Okay? This is me trying not to be triggered in real time because this happened to me last year. Okay? On this app, I might add. When you pick and choose when you want to hold somebody accountable, you're literally fueling the dysfunction. When you pick and choose when you want to hear what's going on, or when you want to hear something that's going wrong, you're fueling the dysfunction. When you make excuses for their actions, you are fueling the dysfunction. That's a problem. Because at that point, the person that has you in their grasp, that has you in their control, are really not the problem. You're the problem. You have become more of a problem than they have. Fueling the distinction. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I watched that shit happen in 4 fucking K. I watched this shit happen in 4K. Okay? If obviously if you guys haven't noticed, there's a lot of people that used to be around that are no longer around, right? You guys noticed that. There's not many people that used to be around us that were around us for a very long time. Happened in 4K. I know, I kind of caught that. Yeah, you're good, bro. Yeah, 4K. I ain't got time for it. I don't have time for it. I'm sorry. Like if that's the type of person that you're gonna be, where you're gonna fuel dysfunction, you're gonna fuel negativity, you're gonna fuel chaos, and then you're gonna put blinders on, acting like you don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't see this shit happening in front of you. You wanna act like this shit ain't really happening. Move the fuck along. Cause ain't nobody got time for it. Ain't nobody got time for it. Ain't nobody got time for that. Who has time to be dealing with that? You know what I'm saying? Nobody has time to deal with that. Because that right there is a character flaw. That right there is a character flaw. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can sit there in real time, watch dysfunction happening, and then act like you don't fucking see it, that's a problem. That's a problem. I'm sorry. I know, I got triggered. See, it happens to me. It happens to me. I got triggered. I did. I got triggered. I can admit that. I can admit that. That shit right there is a fucking trigger for me. That shit's a trigger for me. Cause let me tell you, I'm big on. Oh no, I'm good. I'm big on being able to communicate with the people that I care about, no matter if we're close or not. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Period, point blank. And I don't have no problem telling you that you're wrong. You can get mad at me all you want, but I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong. Whether you, cause me telling you you're wrong has no emotions behind it, right? I ain't got no emotions behind it when I tell you you're wrong. I'm telling you wrong pure out of fucking logic that you were wrong, right? Your response to me telling you that you're wrong usually comes from emotions. You're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to have my back. How are you gonna tell me that I'm wrong? I just did. Like, are you not seeing what's going on in front of you? Are you not seeing your actions? Are you not seeing your behavior? Like, do you want me to just ignore it? You just want me to just go with it and think that it's okay? No, it's not okay. I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. Whatever you do with that information is what you do with that information, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you truly care about somebody, you're willing to do that. Like, facts. Like, and I'm not no fucking PlayStation that you can just play with. Like, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. Like, I'm telling you. What I'm telling you, this is me in real time. This is me in real. I even hold my mom accountable. And that's my mom. I hold everybody accountable. I don't give a fuck who you are. If I see something that you're not doing right and you're in my circle, however you choose to take it, it's how you choose to take it. But I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Because you're around me. You're a reflection of me if you're in my circle. Unfortunately. You are a reflection of me. And I'm a reflection of you. So if you're around me and I'm around you and I start acting a certain way or doing certain things that don't seem right, I expect you to check me. If it's not right, check me so that way I can know that I'm doing something wrong, because I'm not gonna know. If it's something that that makes you look bad or makes us look bad, let me know.
Si me toca, yo te toco y te choco. Con
Facts.
esta materia llego loco. No voy a partirte en dos pedazos como un poco.
Cause yeah, I don't need copywriting. You stepped wrong. I might have not believed in myself, but I will walk away. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. So overall, what I'm telling, so in regards to this whole conversation of what fuels your triggers, what fuels your chaos, this is what it looks like overall. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please send a request. You guys can come up, guys. It is 11:30. So if you guys want to come up, you guys can come up. Just send a request. Half an hour is for you guys in the chat. If you guys want to add anything to the conversation. But no, overall, this is what it is. This is what it is overall, right? You have to be mindful of all of these things. You have to pay attention to all of these things. That's why the healing journey is not an easy journey. People cookie cutter what the journey looks like, but it's not cookie cutter. None of it is. This journey is not cookie cutter. There's too many layers to it for you to even use the word cookie cutter in healing. There's too many layers to it. Having to constantly work on yourself is not an easy thing to do. You have to constantly work on yourself. There's too many layers to it. And that's why most people don't want to go through the journey, because there's too many layers to it. It's not an easy thing. You're gonna be working on yourself for the rest of your life, people. I promise you.
And I thank you for talking about that journey, because when I came to, like, and I've said it before in these boxes. I said it, I think, 2 weeks ago when I was in the box. It wasn't until I came to Monumental that I realized, like, I never heard about, like, shadowing or, like, going back to, like, healing the, family trauma, that generational trauma. And, I knew I had it, but didn't think of going back to forgiving that 6-year-old. I was working on the adult Angie, had always been working on the adult Angie because of the traumas that I went through in my adulthood, but didn't realize if I didn't go back and heal that 6-year-old and come back through the onion peel as, the therapist, my mentor, and then my coaches, told me, it was never going to heal the adult Angie. And listen, like, truthfully, like, I've been talking to Hormanga this week. Tuesday, I got news that would have thrown me to a level 1. I hit a level 5, bounced back up to a level 8, because I realized it's God's blessing in disguise that got me out of the situation that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, is it a scary situation? Yes, if I could be massively screwed,
Right.
But I'm keeping the faith, I'm keeping it moving, and you could hear it in my voice. I'm more confident than ever. Like, situations that have happened to me, cutting out my family and not having that toxicity. And I'm sorry, your story helped me do that more, because it's like, you know what? If I have friends and I have people, and, like, I'm talking to friends in, Cincinnati, and I'm like, oh my God, like, if I don't go home for Thanksgiving and I don't go home for Christmas and I don't go home for Easter, what am I going to do? And they're like, stay with us. They're like, we hosted here. Like, why can't you come with our family? Like,
True.
and it's just like, oh, okay, but my mom's there. Well, my mom's getting her hip replaced in 3 weeks. Like, give her the decision. Stay with your sisters or come to Cincinnati with me. Like,
Right.
let her decide what she wants to do. Like, I don't necessarily have to be at the Easter dinner table. I
Right.
could
No,
go
true.
2 weeks and be with her and cook her a full meal because I cook. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
make it work. And like, my anxiety's gone. I'm sleeping through the night. My head hits the pillow. I'm out. Like,
That's good.
things are good. You
I
know,
love that.
so it's like it's different. Now, do I still have shit to work on? 100%. I'm not saying I'm healed. I'm not
Yeah.
skipping through the meadows picking flowers. No, no. There's still stuff that I have to work on because that's 45 years of
You figure it out.
Italian, you know, you gotta do this, you know, BS, you know, and this is what, you know, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna, you know, shout it out in the box because I am a different person now. I don't, you know, I
I'm
don't
proud of you.
have to say what I'm going through, you know, I don't need people's validation. And I think it was, I've realized it was what I was put through in the past, being told that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worth it, that I was looking always for that validation for someone when I was like, if who cares? It's my validation that matters. If nobody likes me, nobody likes me. I don't give a crap. I mean, I got plenty of friends. It's, you know, I got plenty of friends on the outside world that love me to death. You know, like I don't need anybody on an app. No offense, I love everybody here, but you know what I'm saying.
No,
You
I
know,
get what you're
like
saying.
I don't need anybody on an app to validate me. So it's like, am I going back on certain lives that I walked away from? Yes. Have those people said that they forgave me? Yes. Do I care? No. You know, could they be on the FYP and listening right now? Yes. Hey, how you doing? I don't care. You know, it's just like I'm living life for me at this point. You love me, you love me. You hate me, you hate me. I don't care. This is the new me. This is the new Angie. This was the Angie I used to be in New York. And sorry, buckle up and get ready because you yeah,
Proud of you.
she doesn't take shit. But anyway, I'm gonna drop to the comments. Love you guys, but yeah, you know, like this just hit on the real side. You know, like everything you said is right. Like if you take the time to do what needs to be done, realize, open your eyes, take the blinders off, and realize that you fix it, you could be happy and it
Absolutely.
works. And that's when the blessings start coming through.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might I might have a road bump coming soon, but you know what? If it does happen, I'll figure it out. I always do. And God's with me. And
That's
that's
all
it.
you, that's all you can do. Honestly.
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you. So that's it. Yep.
All right. I appreciate you. Lala, you want to come up? Are you coming up or are you at work, Lala? Yeah, positive vibe. If you want to come up too, you can come up. Anybody that's in the chat can come up if they have something that they want to bring to the table. You guys want to come up?
Look,
We still got 20 minutes left.
coconut soda.
I haven't had one in a minute.
You don't find them nowhere else.
Yeah, I know. No, that's not true. There's a bodega out here that actually has them in the city.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I just haven't had one in a minute. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me up.
Absolutely.
So, I wanted to ask you a question when you were talking about, I guess the friends situation or whatever,
Okay.
the one that so-called triggered you.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you know when? But right now, I'm really working through regulating my empathy,
Okay.
as I told you in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is I started feeling like that I was giving more to others than what I was giving to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, in wanting to give to others and wanting to be there for others, how do you say, okay, I'm not empathizing anymore?
I mean, so
Do you get what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. So the way that the way that I handle a situation like that is if I don't see change in the things that you're coming to me about, then I can no longer empathize with what you're dealing with. Because it's one thing to come up to me, it was one thing to express to me something that you're dealing with, right? And we empathize about it and we conversate to try to find a solution. And then you come to me next time with another conversation, and it's the same conversation with the same issue, and you still haven't, and it's not clicking. You're not figuring it out, and I'm getting where we're literally diving into trying to figure this out together. It's not just you doing it on your own, but it's us doing it together, and it's a constant, repeated cycle of the same conversation, same situation, same circumstances. My empathy is gone. I don't feel bad anymore because you're not even attempting to really put in the work the way that you're supposed to. You're kind of just breezing through it instead of actually diving into what you need to dive into. And
And
I have to be mindful of that.
would you say that is the same thing you would do for family members?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Cognitive empath and empathy. Absolutely, babe. So yeah, so me, all right. All right. I know this sounds messed up. It's gonna sound messed up, but I don't differentiate between my family and my friends the way that I handle people. I handle everybody the same way. I handle everybody the same way because we're all human. We're all people. You're not gonna utilize the fact that we're family as a way to kind of pull on my string on how I handle you. You're human, you're a person. Yes, we're family, but you're also human. You're also a person that's struggling with things. So if you're struggling with things, you're asking me for guidance, and I see that you're not even attempting to put in the work, and then you keep coming to me with the same problem, regardless if you're family or friend, I'm handling you the same way I'm handling every other situation. My empathy is gone. I don't feel bad when you're constantly coming with the same situation and nothing's changing. What does that look like? Then I'm draining myself, pouring into you when you're not willing to change.
True. I see that. And yes, sweet tea, I agree. And I'm glad that I'm able to notice and question it
I'm proud of you for that.
and analyzing, am I really giving too much empathy? Am I really regulating my empathy?
Yeah. No, I'm proud of you for that because that's not an easy thing to do either.
Can I chime in just a little bit real quick?
Okay.
There are different indicators that'll tell you when you're doing too much empathy. One is when it's turning into pity. Another one is when you're associating your own guilt towards it. Because a part of awareness is realizing that we have done damage to certain people and we got to face it and we got to actually apologize and do these things. And sometimes we live vicariously through other people's energy, willingly, unwillingly, knowingly, unknowingly, and we got to be very careful with that. So look for the indicators that'll tell you that you're doing too much. And one of them is it turns into pity. The other one is you're associating guilt towards it. And another huge one is you might be so bored that you need some entertainment in your life.
That's so.
And that doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to you at all. It's just a general statement. You might relate to one, you might relate to all. You have to find your own relation and your own correlation as to why you and that actually exist together. We need to find that relationship so that we can determine if we're doing too much or not enough.
Oh, that's good stuff. Thank you.
When you're working on
You see
healing
me?
too, and you are a former or trying to be a former people pleaser, the thing is that you have a hard time being a people pleaser and an empath. You have a hard time second guessing yourself on whether or not you're putting up too much of a wall for protection, or you're not doing enough, or maybe I was a little too harsh on that person. Like, I still do it to this day. To this day, I still do it. Because I think about something afterwards and I'm like, maybe I was in a bad mood. Maybe I didn't give that person a little bit of slack that they needed during that conversation. But then I think about it a little bit more and I'm like, maybe I didn't give them enough of a decision that I like, enough of, what's the word I'm looking for? Enough guidance to be like, you need to fix this. It's not a no, it's not a but at all.
Grace.
You need
Grace
it
might be
flat
the word
out,
that you're looking for,
cut and
sweet tea.
dry, no excuses.
Right. What's the point of having boundaries if some things are not negotiable? There
That
are some
people
things in life
pleasing
that are
is
not
really hard to
negotiable.
get rid of.
And again, we got to be careful of what we're running from, because what we're running from sometimes is what we actually need. So listen, life is not easy. Making decisions in life is not easy. But if you remove the things that create fog, that create pressure, we're talking about anxiety, we're talking about chaos, we're talking about, you understand, like the more you know, the more you can understand, make sense of it, so that you can remove the things that are destroying us.
I think one of the things that people struggle with is when they're making decisions using their emotions. You have to remove your emotions when you're making a decision like that, because the emotions is is what makes it difficult. And being an empath, unfortunately, we feed off our emotions as an empath, and that's the hard part. So when as an empath, your emotional regulation and your emotional intelligence have to be on a high key, like on a very high key, in order to even make a distinction if you're giving somebody too much empathy.
People
Yeah.
pleasers and empaths literally frolic for marathons. People pleasers and empaths are literally join hands and frolic for marathons. Chances are, if you're an empath, you at one time were also a people pleaser to some degree. If you are a people pleaser, you are somewhat of an empath to a certain degree. It's very much intertwined.
It is.
But it's that cognitive empathy that you need to work on, and that's a cut and dry, black and white. This is what it is. Not, I'm going to make exceptions for so and so. I'm going to make exceptions for this one. I'm going to make exceptions for that one. No, absolutely not. Everybody gets the same type. Everybody gets the same treatment. I don't expect E to handle me with kid gloves all the time. I don't expect it. I don't want that. Sometimes I need the raw truth, because I know my mouth can be real spiteful, and I say a lot of things that I probably come out in the heat of emotion. But I don't need to be handled with kid gloves. Sometimes I need that same energy. Bring me that same energy, because sometimes that's the only way I'm going to learn.
I agree. Yeah. as Coach E knows, yes, I need that energy. That switch kick in the rear. Yeah.
I mean, it works.
We got positive vibe here. Hey,
What's going on, Positive Vibe? Welcome in.
Hey. I think a word Sweet Tea was looking for in her statement might have been, don't give too much grace. We are humans and we do think about the flawed side of everything. But even myself going through something similar to what you guys are talking about right now, and this is just being vulnerable and sharing a part where this is actually something I'm having to work on, is the boundaries side of it,
Right.
and actually sticking to those boundaries. And so this live was very perfect for me. And I think the word is grace. The word would be grace, because at the end of the day, you can only give a person so much grace until they can step up and take and face the accountability to take the responsibility. Because no matter who you are, no matter what you feel, your feelings are valid, but our behaviors are not.
Right.
And sometimes we're going to step out of character and we're going to make choices that make us not so happy. And, we can do that. And what I tend to teach and what I do is, as much as you want to express how you feel, sometimes you need to do the think method and think about what you're about to say, because is it going to hurt somebody? Are you thinking with, like you guys just said, with that emotional side, or is it a factual black and white can be proven with, black and whites? And we're in a generation right now where we're starting to turn more towards you have to come and present the facts, because if you can't present the facts and show it with the action, then you're just talking about it for attention.
Right.
Um,
One
and
of the
so,
one of the things too. I didn't mean to cut you off, but one of the
oh,
things
you're good.
too, that people don't do, and we actually spoke about this earlier today, was vetting people, vetting the conversation, vetting people on where they are, vetting yourself on where you are. Like, are you able to handle the conversation you're about to have with this person? Are you able, or like, where are you mentally before you dive into a conversation with somebody? Right? Like, because that's also part of your boundaries as well, is the vetting process. That should be a part of everybody's boundaries, is the vetting process.
And you know what? It's not just psyching yourself up to be this person. It's being this person,
Right.
because you could make yourself believe anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are that person. So you have to learn how to vet yourself before you vet other people. You have to learn how to assess who you are before you put it on someone else. And she said a great word, which is grace. But the problem is that there's vultures out there, and there's energy vampires, and there's people that will diminish your grace and then look to diminish something else that you offer, just so that they can have this connection to you, so that they could keep, because they, in their mind, they're saying, I don't mind removing what I have and giving it to someone else,
Right.
right? If I have to sacrifice somebody else to remove this from me, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And unfortunately, there's too many people in this world that are willing to just put you in some shit just to remove their shit from themselves.
Yeah. Every time I see it, I see it a lot.
And we have to practice noticing this. We have to practice seeing the flags of these people that are conniving,
You're welcome in.
and they'll use you, and they'll take your grace and all of it, and then they'll look for something else. Patience. They'll look for some other thing to absorb as much as they can from you, because they're taking away your peace and your positivity, pun intended on your name, and they're just releasing all the toxicity into you. We can't continue to be that recipient, and we all know this. I'm not sharing anything new. We
Right.
all know what it is to be there for someone, and be there for ourselves. But when we get that mixed up, there's no coming back from that, and it affects our long-term relationships. It really does.
True.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because next week's topic is breaking the patterns.
And the
Oh,
thing of it is, like you said, it does come to that generational side of inheritance, because something I'm learning both in a professional aspect and a friendship aspect is sometimes we take on characteristics of our narcissistic parents or certain things that they have passed on to us in generational traumas that become trauma responses that become our quote unquote run tos as a
Yeah.
protectant. And you
Yep.
go to use that as a blockade wall versus actually facing the problem to actually handle it appropriately.
No, that's true. No, that's a true statement. You're right about that. And that's one of the things. That's why I brought that up, because that's one of the key components that's usually missed, right? In regards to these type of conversations and the conversation of chaos, is the inherited part of it. We don't talk about that enough. Like, we talk about the things that we've been through as adults, but there's always a trickle down effect to a lot of things that we're healing from. And most times people don't want to go down to deal with the below the surface things, right? Because it trumps up a lot of emotions and a lot of past traumas that they don't want to handle. They don't want to open up Pandora's box. They don't want to open up that red door that they've been trying to avoid. So they don't do it. So they try to put blame on other things instead of actually dealing with what needs to be dealt with.
So I answered that in the comments, and I wasn't thinking about it on that aspect. I was thinking about it, as in my environment. I did not look at it as chaotic, as peaceful. But then again, internally, it wasn't, because when I did the shadow work and I went back, and it was chaotic for me internally. And so, yes, inherited that, come out with being with my ex, then I created it.
Yeah. Inherited chaos. So the inherited chaos creates the external, internal, and the intentional. That it starts with the inherited. It don't. That's where it starts with a lot of. But we kind of took it, like, in a different way. Like last week we did the intentional and the external before we did the intentional. Before we did the intentional and the inherited, because I wanted to bring it to this conversation today. So, but it starts with the inherited. It always starts with the inherited. The inherited is your trauma. Is your inner child memories. Is those things that you dealt with as children.
Okay.
Those are the things that we were talking about when we met inherited. Like, you know,
Okay.
like how I mentioned when, you know, when the mom is pregnant and she goes through her traumas, but she doesn't heal from her traumas, her child he or she or both, if they're twins, inherit the trauma that their mother dealt with, and then they start behaving in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? You see them start behaving, they literally start mapping the same behavior that the mom had as an adult.
Right. Until I did the shadow work, I didn't realize
Thank you,
how
Tara.
that trauma was there.
For the follow too.
And now realize that, yes, I did inherit chaos because then I went on as an adult to create chaos. Now I'm just living in my peace.
Right. Right. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you guys. We got 5 minutes left. So if anybody want to say their piece before we shut off for the day, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm gonna actually create the live event now. So Harmigo, I don't know if Harmigo's busy. Harmigo might be busy. So Lala, if you want to go first,
I am not busy, but people can speak.
go ahead. I'm actually gonna create the live event for the next live. So while you guys are doing that,
Well, I've learned something, I realized something in this live. So thank you for a great conversation. Also, if one advice I could give everybody is to be open-minded, to always learn. And like you said, then you'll be able to recognize it with eyes wide open.
absolutely. Positive vibe. You got something you want to say before we get off?
Sure. The thing I can leave you with is this. I mean, our feelings are valid and our behavior may not be, but it takes self accountability and responsibility to make the growth and change you really want to do. You can go to a coach and you can go to people and friends. We can vent and we can open up. But if you're not willing to take the actions and move forward and do something and not waste their time or yours, then who are you fooling but yourself and the person in the mirror until you take the first step forward?
Love that. Thank you so much. Babe, what you got?
For the first time, I honestly don't know. I literally have absolutely nothing, but I'm also doing a million things at once. You can be you without changing certain aspects of yourself. But you can also be you actively working on changing aspects of yourself.
Definitely.
And that's on growth, work, healing, at times criticism, at times
Okay.
let me rephrase that, at times constructive criticism. And that's it. You can be a different person without completely changing yourself entirely. Just improving on the person you were meant to be.
That part. And that's exactly what we're trying to teach people. What you got, brother?
I don't have much to say. I think we definitely hit a couple of things. Again, another great conversation, another great live. I appreciate the people that are here. We learn from each other, and if you're not into learning, I got nothing against you. But I don't have nothing with you either.
Say that again. Say that again. Because listen.
I said, if you're not into learning, I have nothing against that, but I have nothing with you either. Sorry, we cannot occupy the same places. How about that?
I'm just saying.
Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the shares. Thank you for all the taps. Thank you for the gifts. Everybody knows that the gifts that come to me, they go into a good cause. If you want to know more about the show or anything about us and the books and the community that we have, you know, a closed mouth does not get fed. So hit us up. Let us know what's up.
That's absolutely. So one of the things that me and Hormiga actually spoke about the other day, being the fact that TikTok is has officially been bought. TikTok has officially been bought. So there is going to be a transition with TikTok. I don't know when it's going to happen, but there is a transition. They did get bought out by the company Oracle. So there are going to be there's going to be a new app for TikTok USA. So TikTok US. So there's going to be a whole brand new app. I don't know if our platforms are going to be able to transition from this app to the next one, but if that's not the case, we are pushing to Meta. I'm not coming back on TikTok. I'm gonna let you guys know that now. I will not be back on TikTok. I will be pushing to Meta, so probably Instagram or Facebook. We're gonna be doing the show there. You know what I'm saying? I'll keep you guys updated. I'll make sure I put my social media and our mega social medias on a flyer for you guys to follow us if you guys are not already following us on the other platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I will make sure you guys have all that information.
And the link tree will set you free.
Absolutely. Most definitely. We'll have all our stuff situated for you guys to follow us on other platforms. But yeah, if that's the case, I will not be coming back here because I put too much work in building this platform and building this up for it to be what it is and for them to just take it away. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna go where we're more appreciated. But in a world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Keep life simple. Love is the glue. Respect is the flavor. You dig, you dig, you dig. Make sure y'all live within the value energy, and I pity the fool who doesn't mind their mental. Peace.